Hey guys, FunnyGuyTimmy here. I want to do another really quick video. So this one I'm actually going to be talking about something that I actually had a email communication with, an email correspondence with another voice actor new to the voiceover industry, and they had a lot of questions, and we talked back and forth. And this is actually something that I've actually covered before, but I didn't actually post the video. I was actually looking, I was trying to send him the video talking about this subject, and I couldn't find it because I had recorded a long time but never posted it. And it had to do with standing up. And I think I've talked about this before on other videos, kind of like in passing. But when it comes to especially animation, I suggest standing up like the entire time. I was listening to his demos, and they were good. They were relatively good quality, and there's a little bit of cleanup needed to be done, but ultimately there wasn't like a lot of background noise, a lot of echo and stuff like that. But then I also noticed that it sounded like he was hunched over, that he was, kind of like bending in. And so I told him that that's what I heard, and my suggestion was to stand up, and he was like, yeah, I was hunched over. How did you do that? And there was a specific sound, and the reason that I know what it sounds like is because I was victim of that as well. Not really victim. I mean, it's something I did to myself. But my first voiceover space was actually constructed from a piece of aluminum framing. I don't remember exactly where I got it. It was just like in a dumpster or something like that. But it was aluminum, and it was two pieces that were hinged. And I used it to hold a bed topper and then a big blanket over it. And then, but it made like a very small space, and I had to like hunch over. And what happens is your stomach is bending in half, and you're pushing that into your diaphragm and into your chest, which is condensing your lungs. And so you end up making these kind of heavy breaths because you can't extend your lungs as much as you should. And also you're leaning forward, and so your neck and your vocal cords are actually compressed, and so it has this kind of this held back and strangled sound. So if you're doing animation, I highly recommend getting as much space as possible, standing up, standing straight, have your feet about shoulders distance apart, big breaths, it's going to sound more open, more full, more believable. Now, you can sit down if you're doing... I don't suggest sitting down at all if you're doing any kind of character work or any impression work or anything like that. The only time I'd suggest actually sitting down would be if you're doing long-form narration, like if you're doing a book or you're doing medical narration or any kind of e-learning. You can sit down. But I also recommend going and watching videos of a great person, Bill DeWeese. Go watch Bill DeWeese in any of his videos where he does a lot of that. He does a lot of long-form narration, and he sits down, but notice his posture. He's not hunched over. He's still, his back is still straight. His neck is still straight. He leans in sometimes, but for the most part, he's straight up and down. He's not like this. He's not just slacked back. He's not like that. And the reason is you have to get as much air in those lungs as possible so you can get through the script as best as possible. And you don't want to restrain yourself. You don't want to hold yourself back. So you want to be as flexible and as open as possible. Your voice is like a muscle. You are an athlete of the voiceover industry, and you want it to be as relaxed and as stretched out as possible. And in that case, I highly recommend, standing up. Now, not everyone is going to have the kind of situation where they can do that. Not everyone is going to have a voiceover space as large as mine. But... And I know that some people are going to be, have a space where they got to like lean in, got to like kind of pull a blanket over themselves. And you can do that. But my suggestion would be don't necessarily lean and kind of bend yourself. My suggestion would be still keep your back straight. Like you can be on your knees. You can still keep your back straight and still try to keep your throat out straight and your chest just flat, just all the way down. So yeah, this was kind of a short video on that topic of if you're doing animation, just, stand up if you can. If you are sitting down, just try to sit up straight. I mean, your mom already told you to do that, so, I mean, come on. So, anyway, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to rate, comment, and subscribe. If you have any other questions, leave them down in the comment section below. And until next time, peace.